Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing, so how do I put this? So I had this dream where there was this plush that I have, and this was a plush that I got from a blind box, and when I opened it, the plush itself was beautiful, and it was very soft, and it was my favorite color, but the face, it looked okay on the box, like on the picture, but then when you open it, it was just like the most hideous thing. It looked like a dead thing. It was really awful, and it was like absolutely unbearable. Like I was having a visceral reaction to it every time I saw it. So I made it a new face, and it's really cute now. It's like really, really, really cute. I just sewed the new face over the old one. But last night I dreamed that was coming loose, and that once it came off, before I could put a new one on, I just would let it rest, and it looked really relaxed, and I was even getting used to the face. So I thought, well, I'm not doing that with my actual one, but I'm going to. But I thought this would be a really good read to do for a really good set of messages to do for today's readings. So these readings are going to be using the Faerie Oracle by Brian Froud and the Elder Futhark on Willow Wood, and we are going to look at a situation in your life, it could be one or more of them, where you are presenting a certain way, but underneath you're different. You're basically presenting that way to conceal the way that you actually are. And so we're going to look at that. We're going to look at what you actually are underneath that, how you actually would appear, and what would happen if you released that, if you allowed that to show. So I went into the spare room and I got 4 random objects from a box in the spare room. So feel into these random objects. One or more of these will have a message for you about that. We have a slightly cracked jack-o'-lantern from a decorative string of Halloween lights. We have a kazoo, an actual kazoo. I'm not going to play it. I don't know how it's old, and I think it's only been my lips on it, but I don't want to take that chance. We have I think this is a soap, but I could be wrong. It's just basically, let's just call it a covered rose. And we have Buster, who I don't know why he was in the random box, because I usually keep my plush all together. So after this, he's not going back in the random box. He's going with the other plush. So feel into the random objects. One or more of these will have a message for you about what you are presenting, what you are concealing, and what would happen if you allowed the concealed thing to be unconcealed. So I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the reading. Bye! Hello to those of you who chose the jack-o'-lantern. So let's move the jack-o'-lantern over here. I don't know if we'll be able to fit it. I don't really have much space, but we'll do what we can. We'll just put it up here in the corner. So let's start with the cards. So this is the Brian Froud Faerie Oracle, and we're going to be pulling 3 cards. One is what you're presenting. The first one is what you're presenting. The second one is what you're concealing, and the third one is what would happen if you revealed it, if you unmasked. Although it's a little bit more profound than a mask, because it's something. Well, it is a mask, but it's one you've actually sewn on at this point to keep with the symbolism of the dream. So what are you presenting? What are you presenting to the world? The feline. Okay. What are you concealing? Not taking jump outs, stop jumping out. And I'm not going to be taking several of you jumping out. You're the most gorgeous deck, but I need to be a little bit firm. What are you concealing? What is the feline hiding? What is the image of the feline hiding? Oh my gosh, the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. So this is gorgeous, and I think, let me move this up, that would be something that I wouldn't want to hide, but I can understand why you would want to hide it. And what will happen if you reveal it? What will happen? What would happen if you didn't conceal it? What would happen if you revealed it? The Singer of Connection, gorgeous. Okay. So to read this, feline The thing about the Faerie Oracle is that it has you sit with the cards and get your own messages from them before reading the book. So this is intuitive. This is intuitive stuff. Feline in this case, it seems to be like that you want to appear very shrewd. You want to appear very unsurrounded. You want to feel like you want to look like you're very serious, and that you don't have time for any of that fancy stuff, and that you want to look very practical, but also practical in kind of like a defensive kind of way, kind of like, yes, what's your problem? What I don't have time for this. So to present as like one of those busy adults in the world, which yuck, and but sometimes you got to do it so that they don't think there's more, so that you can be, people will treat you as something else, which is what this is. This is what's underneath it. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies, and it's just this gorgeous, just sense of being surrounded at all times by everything that you ever were told were imaginary. Just like this, just gorgeous inner world, and in connecting to the outer world, and just this gorgeousness, this beautifulness around you. And if you uncovered that, this is what was underneath, the singer of connection, you would be an example. Like, people, certainly a lot of the people that you're doing this for, might not know what to do with this, and they might even just ignore this. But you would be an example of, this is to live with this just sort of uncovered. And then maybe other people wouldn't see all of this, but they would certainly see just this gorgeousness of just this. There's somebody who knows. There's somebody who has connections with things that we can't see and that are making them vibrant. So let's get some runes down to bring forth further meaning. So let's talk about the feline. Let's see. This is so that you can bring things forth. So this is probably like a job. This is probably how you appear at your job for some of you. Because it's been really difficult. It was like really difficult to get to this point. So in order to maintain that, so let me just back up. Central issue for the feline is Yira. We're focusing on the present moment. We're focusing on bringing things through. We're focusing on the harvest. Bringing through things that are worthy and valid and all that. So this is what you're doing for that. There was a lot of challenge leading up to that point. So like almost an impossible challenge. So to get to this point and to have it, like it's almost like you put this on and you feel like you're fooling people. Like it's like you feel like it's like this big con to get, like people don't realize what I actually am. They think I'm just like busy and hardworking and miserable like the rest of them. And I'm actually making my living from it. I'm actually, bringing forth what I need to nourish myself and to help others, et cetera, et cetera. What's going to help you with this is you're finding your joy within, and that's the joy within. You're basically keeping yourself connected with that. But it's also a good idea to be addressing discontentments as they arise, because that's also something that's going to help. But mostly I'm just sort of seeing like the only way you're able to maintain this, the main reason you're able to maintain this is because of this, which is inside. What isn't going to help is you're relatively fragile in terms of if anything gets revealed suddenly, like if there's a sudden surprise and something you weren't able to keep in mind because this is your mind, which there's nothing wrong with this being your mind, but it's full already. And then if this whole less exciting world presents something that's basically from the challenges that you had before, that you have to add to this, you don't know if you can fit it. So bring yourself back up to where you're just basically keeping yourself nourished and taken care of by this great, beautiful inner world that you have, that you're currently concealing so that you feel that you can fit in with the job or whatever it is that you're doing, that's like practical matters. And what this is ultimately going to lead you to, it's going to be a continuation of the trellis work. It's going to require constant maintenance, like constant hands-on maintenance. We have so Yira, which is the harvest and also time. Thurizaz reversed, which is a very difficult challenge. Bunyo reversed, which is the joy rune. Reversed is inner. And then Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box. Surprises and fate, something that's being revealed that was always the case, and it's extends from the extremely difficult challenge you've been through. And for the outcome, we have Ingvaz, which is active creation. And so that's like, this is going to be a constant, you're going to be constantly working on this. You have to keep at it, because it's not true. It's not genuine. It's genuine in that it's the you that you are when you're here, but it's a construct. So let's look at what you are concealing. Like, my goodness. This gorgeous world that you are concealing. Okay. So the central issue for this is it's your inner journey. It's your path through life that is the more vibrant one compared to that, where it's your inner journey that is just where your journey is, where your life journey is. It's where your spirit is. It's where your spirit is carrying you, and it's where you're able to direct your spirit, because all of this is good. Leading up to this was an agreement that you had. This was something that you decided, like this. There was a point at which you're like, okay, I'm going to make this decision to do this, and this is part of your plan of your life, to have this, but to have it hidden, unfortunately. But I mean, it protects it, and I think that's the point. What's going to help you with that is we have Avaz reversed. Avaz is the horse is movement and spirit. So this is the horse is implied in Raida reversed, and Avaz reversed is that horse. So that the spirit is going to carry you forward, and possibly even, like, it's when you let the spirit lead that this is even better. So this is the journey forward. You're deferring to the spirit, though, and that's what helps. So as you let the spirit carry you, it's going to be a situation where the more you let the spirit lead, the better it's going to be. That's what helps you the most on this. So you are directing it to a certain extent, but whenever you let that happen, then it's even better. What isn't going to help is it's a lot, it's so much, and this is why you want to direct it sometimes, and that's what you're afraid of. Like, if you let that, then this could overwhelm everything, and that's one of the other reasons you're hiding it, because this is so huge. This is vast for you. This is just enormous, and it should be, and it's wonderful, and it's better than anything, and and so but that could drag you down in terms of just like if you're worried about this overpowering everything, bring yourself back up to the fact that you're letting your spirit lead, and your spirit's not going to carry you wrong. It's not going to lead you wrong. You're going to be where you need to be. And what this is going to lead you to is just a greater sense of flow. You're going to feel very much in tune with what needs to be in tune with. You're going to be connected with heart, which is so much, better in things. And so this is all what you're concealing. So we have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. It's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. Raida reversed, it's the journey rune. It's reversed, it's inner. Avaz reversed, which is the horse. Movement is spirit, it's inner. And what isn't helping is Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. It's overwhelm, and it's just basically fear about that. And the outcome is Lagus, which is the rune of water. It's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. So let's say you don't conceal this anymore. Let's say you reveal this. What is that going to look like? So Singer of Connection, this is where you become an example of that, and how to do this, and how to live this in the world, which is exciting and awesome. So central issue, we have Othala reversed. This is the home within, but it's also letting go of things that no longer serve, which is like this mask here. It's also stepping outside of your comfort zone, which would be to leave this, like to sort of just open the doors to this. What's led up to this is we have Avaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. This is patience, slow growth, slow development, taking things step by step. You've been on a long road with this, and if you make this decision to reveal this has been after a long time of just plotting, while on the inside this is just this vibrant world. What is going to help you is just basically knowing that you can support yourself, knowing that you can protect yourself in this, knowing that you can stand up and be true to yourself with all of this. It's not like you're going to be talking about this. You're not going to be broadcasting this, but you're not going to be hiding it anymore. And that's the big difference, is that with this, you're pretending to be miserable like what you believe everybody else around you is. And this, you can just live this. You don't have to tell everybody about, the various names of the fae beings in which you are intimately connected, but you But you can just live as though that's happening, and if people only knew. So it's just basically you don't have to conceal what this does for you. And that alone will protect you. Just the fact you're not going to be broadcasting it, but you're just going to be it. What isn't going to help is you are a bit worried about energy levels. In fact, the nice thing is that if you let go of this, you will have the energy levels you need. And you've been plodding along because this is exhausting. So you are worried about energy levels, but if that starts to be the case, bring yourself back up to where you're trusting this to protect you. And you're getting your protection and your support from within. So you don't need to worry about it on the outside, and you're not going to be hiding who you actually are anymore. So this alone will give you the protection and support you need, and as you stand up in this. And what this is going to lead you to is you're not going to feel combative anymore about it. You're going to be able to lay your sword down. You're going to be able to be at peace with this. And this is also how you tend to your inner needs, your duties and responsibilities to yourself. This is how you're going to do it, by just living this and not pretending to be that. So we have Othala reverse, which is home in the homeland. We have Ivaz, which is the yew tree. It's patience, slow growth, step by step. We have helping is Algi's reversed. Algi's is the moose. It's protection and support. And we have Sovilo not helping, which is the sun. It's just worries about source energy, worries about energy levels, and the outcome is Tivaz reversed, which is Tears rune, and that's the warrior god who takes care of duties and responsibilities and things that need to be taken care of. So that is your very neat message about what are you presenting, what are you concealing, and what happens if you unmask. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to those of you who chose the kazoo. So I'm going to move this over here. I don't have much room for these, so I'm just going to move this to sit here, and hopefully we'll have room for the cards. So we'll start with the cards. It's going to be 3 cards. It's going to be what are you presenting, what are you concealing, and what happens when you unmask or just reveal the thing that you've been concealing. It's going well so far. The first one went really well in terms of thank you, cards, for being exactly what we wanted to see in this kind of thing. But who knows? Who knows? You get the kazoo, so you chose the kazoo. Let's see what the kazoo pile has to do with. So what are we presenting to the world? What are we presenting to the world? She of the Cruach. Okay, that's interesting. What are we concealing from the world? What are we using this to conceal? Because we think maybe people won't be able to handle it. Or we're trying to protect it, which is another possibility. The fairy godmother. This is really interesting. So this is not entirely a concealment. You're concealing the details, but you're still presenting with a little twinkle. Which is kind of neat. So what happens if you just stop concealing it at all and just let it show? Let it be unmasked and revealed. The journeyman. Okay. Neat. Neat. So let's get some runes now. Well, let's talk about this for a second. So she of the Cruach is something very ancient anyway. So you're basically, as you walk through life, what you're presenting is that you have this deep faith, but it's deeper than, the mainstream type religion type things. You're sort of presenting as if, there's something and there's something that you're connected to that's a lot deeper than what normally you would see. You have that. You carry that with a twinkle in your eye. So you are presenting with some magic in it, which is exciting. What you're concealing, however, is literally the fairy godmother. You not only have access to this and are actively accessing this. This is your living faith. This is something that you are living with connection to, and your life is incredibly rich because of it. Your inner life especially, but just basically when you're not concealing this, this is you. You're just living this incredible rich existence that's tapped into and connected with just this deep, ancient richness that is still very vibrant. So if you stopped concealing this by this and just let it be, this is what gets presented, the journeyman. So we see this, it's almost like a Fool card kind of character where he's, setting off, and but in this case he's setting off from with the support of the ancient. So it's you taking the next steps and becoming this as you move forward, and then maybe somebody will step off from your head eventually. But you are taking those leaps of faith. You're carrying this forward in its vibrancy, and this will be visible to all more than it has been. So let's get some runes down and see what this is all about. So we'll start with Sheave the Kruik. And what you're presenting. I can't remember if I laid all this down before I started reading it or if I did it one at a time. Let's do it one at a time. I think that's how I did it before. Even if I didn't, let's do it. I feel like doing it one at a time. So what you're presenting, it's tapping into your deep inner home. So you're finding home within. Your central issue is Althala reversed, which is the home within. You're also letting go of what isn't serving you, and you're continually stepping outside of your comfort zone. But you're doing this by, well, I'll get to that. Leading up to this is because things just felt really blank and dull and like nothing before. We have the blank rune. So what caused you to do this is that like life is just ugh. And I wanted to bring something through that is not that. So let's reach deep and pull something through from the inner home, which is why your mask now sparkles. It's got like these glimmers on it. What's going to help you with that is just letting this shine through. We have Dagas, which is the breaking of the day. So just what helps you is just that constant flow through of the sun from your inner world, and or just whatever is shining from your inner world. I mean, it could be moon, whatever. But it's just, this is Dagas breaking the day. So just letting that come through and just letting that constantly be revealed, and that's what helps you maintain this gorgeous mask that you're presenting in. What isn't helping you is we have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. This is agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. And in terms of, it's almost like these are obligations to the boring. This is obligations to the ordinary. And you may feel like you have obligation to the ordinary to be uninteresting and dull. But that's not going to help. That's absolutely not going to help you. And so this is why you're just like, no, I'm going to shine. And if people can't handle it, to heck with it. It's not like I'm showing the whole thing, like you will. And what this is going to lead you to is it's gotten you what you've needed. It's gotten you the fruits of your labors. You have succeeded in getting what you needed out of it. Life is no longer dull, and you're also able to function in, the boring world in such a way that you are getting nourishment and a sense of abundance from it. But it could be better. So let's see. Let's have a look at what is being concealed. Your inner river. Your inner river. Your deep inner heart, which you are keeping safe. And I don't blame you, because the sacred and the numinous is sensitive to the blaringness of the mundane and the banal. So central issue here, we have Laguz reversed, which is the water, it's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. It's reversed here, so it's the inner river, it's the inner flow, it's deep inner heart, it's intuition, it's all of that deep stuff. It's emotion too, so it's like you're keeping it, the inner river of emotion safe there as well. Leading up to this, you do feel supported. In this, at least when you're keeping it like this. This is something, but I mean, as I said, this is the support that you're having, and this is this support that it's eventually going to be. So this is the support from the ages, from ancestors, from the ancient deities and elementals and entities and things, and it's just amazing. And it's like this support that you have. So it's like, okay, I'm going to keep this as my inner river. You are letting some of it sparkle through, but you're basically going to keep that as, keep your heart safe deep inside this. What's going to help you is that you continually return to stillness, which is the stillness through which clarity comes through. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice, that's stillness and standstill. Every time you return to that, this gets renewed, the river gets refreshed, and you are just continually refilled with magic. What doesn't help is we have Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. This is basically don't neglect the practical and the things that, the things that, as long as you're taking care of them, give your life meaning and worth. And this is sort of leading from it some support. The outer support is also important, and that's what you're coming from. It's like, I am supported outwardly so I can have this rich inner life, but you are worried about the things that you may be neglecting in the outer world by focusing on this and drawing all this energy through. I mean, you're already making steps on that by letting some of it sparkle through. But what definitely helps is just be still, and I think the stillness will actually direct you to what needs to be tended. I mean, this is not money, it's cattle, so it's the wealth that you tend. So this will direct you. Once you are still and let the clarity come through, you'll see what you need to take care of. And what this is going to lead you to is, this is your expression, this is your communication, and this is your manifestation. We have Ansus, which is the rune of that. And this is probably why this is coming through, because you're having this rich inner life, but then this comes through. You're letting some of this sparkle and shine, and it makes your life unboring, which is great. And you are able to get something out of it. You're able to get what you need to, your harvest and so forth, but it could be better. So let's get some runes down on the journeyman. What happens if you completely uncover this? New beginning. Rebirth. You just have to cross that threshold. You're almost there. Like, really, look at where it is. You're in a situation where you're not far from doing this already. So we have Berkana, which is the rune of the birch tree. It's beginnings and birth. It's a rebirth for you. It's just stepping out. Leading up to this, we have the threshold that is crossed. Once you decide that you're not going to conceal this anymore, even though you've been concealing it in a sparkling mask, it's still going to be, it's still a threshold to cross where you're going to say, okay, no, I'm not going to mask this anymore. I'm going to actually be it. I'm going to live it. And it's not like you're going to advertise it. You're not going to go on like talking about the fairy godmother all the time, but you're just going to live it, and you're going to rebirth yourself as, yes, on the shoulders of my ancestors and their helping spirits, I am rebirthing myself. I'm having a new beginning. What's going to help you is we have Ava's reversed, which is the rune of the horse. This is movement and also spirit. So you're letting your spirit carry you inwardly. So you're not going to waste energy either. That's the other thing. Like, it's reversed on the upper line. So you're not going to gallop yourself frantic or exhausted, and that's what we're basically just saying. It's like, you're not going to spend all day telling everybody about the fairy godmother. You are going to just live it. So you're conserving your energy. You're not going to gallop around. You're just basically going to be that. You're going to take the steps that you need to take and let yourself be supported. You're also letting yourself be supported by spirit inwardly. So any galloping around you're going to be doing is going to be inner, but you're actually just going to let yourself be supported by that, especially inwardly. What isn't going to help is you're always worried about emergencies. You're coming through, you cross the threshold, and now you're like, what if something from the practical world comes through and says, oh, you have to drop everything and deal with that? It's like, you still can, because you're letting your horse carry you inwardly. So you are a bit worried about that. But again, if that starts to drag you down, bring yourself back up to the horse, which is reversed. And so let yourself have that solace inwardly that you're being carried by that, by your spirit inwardly, whatever spirit is for you, as you rebirth yourself in the world. And what that's going to lead you to, and look, this even sort of mimics this guy who is on the head of the ancestor, what came before as he carries forward. And this is Ivaz, it's the rune of the yew tree. This is patience, slow growth, slow development, taking things step by step. And you are carrying forward the line, basically, of all of this. And you're not just steeped in this now, you're actually carrying it forward openly. Again, without exhausting yourself by explaining to everybody, because you don't have to explain it to everybody, but you just have to live it and rebirth as this, and then carry forward step by step, continuing the path. So that, those of you who chose the kazoo, is your reading for what is being presented, what is being concealed, and what would happen if you revealed it. So that is your reading, and I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the covered rose. So I'm just going to bring this up here. We do need like all the space for the cards that we're putting down. So let's get started. Let's get the cards out. So let's first see what it is that you are presenting. How are you presenting to the world? What is it that you're presenting in the world that is to conceal what you're concealing? That you think maybe would freak people out if they saw it. So what are you presenting to the world? You know, I feel like I should get a stone up just in case we've got nudity. We might have nudity. I'm just going to grab my stones in case I need to cover something, because this card sometimes has nudity. Yes, I know it's nudity. But, you know, you collect things that little kids say that are funnier, like flambingos and hangaburgers. And that's one of them. Okay, what is it that how are we presenting? How are we presenting? Ooh. The Singer of Transfiguration. Okay, so let me just get this comfortably. You're actually presenting as, and look at the red, like that's gorgeous. So, as someone who is continually in a state of transformation and who is able to transfigure things from one thing to another, you're actually presenting as that, and that's pretty viable, but you're very grounded in the life aspect of things and the base, you know, the lowest chakra kind of connection to life and earth and things. So very practical, but also, you know, deeply connecting, and also very connected to being able to transfigure and to transmute things. So what is it that you're concealing? What are you concealing that this is a cover for? The Green Woman. Okay. So this is wonderfully resonant, because this is who you are. This is what's underneath. Like you're very practically be able to work with things and, you know, make things be what they need to be. But you have this beautiful trickster energy, really, like playful spirit, and just using humor and play and delight and the best kind of mischief. To make the icons on the phone wiggle so that you can move things around. So what would happen if you stopped masking it? What would happen if you stopped concealing it? What would that look like? Ooh, the Sage. I love this reading so much. So you're presenting as something very practical, very, very usable, very real world, usable, like boring world, the mundane world. Oh, we just do that, and we're just, you know, we're deeply connected to life, so we know how to make things work for ourselves. But underneath, you are so playful, and you are so like good mischievous, like the right kind of mischievous that stirs up stagnation and makes things very playful. And when you reveal that, the practical aspects of it mixed with this, you will come across as like the wisest, deeply connected being that people are going to encounter. And yes, this is going to freak people out, but you're going to be more you than you've ever been before, and it's going to be amazing. So let's get some runes down and see what there is to see about these. I think I am going to do these one at a time. I think I've been doing them one at a time so far. It's not out of question that I would maybe do them all at once and then read them all, but I think I'm going to continue with that for this. So let's see. So for what you're presenting, We have the rune of Thurizaz, which is the rune of the thorn, the giant, the gateway. And this is, so you're just basically taking it challenge by challenge. These are not hard challenges, but you face them, you cross the threshold with them, and you move on. What's going to help you, what led up to this is we have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. This is just basically everything is visible to you, everything is opening up, and you're getting everything coming at you all at once. It may feel a bit overwhelming, which is why you're like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to present this. And like this may even be like scrutiny as well, but just basically like your entire field of vision is illuminated and you're seeing all these things. And so you're like, I'm going to take this one challenge at a time, and I'm going to take it as practically as possible so I don't freak people out. What helps you with that is we have Ansu's reversed. Ansu's is the rune of communication, manifestation, and expression. It is reversed on the upper line, so I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, you're listening. You are being relatively silent. You're not expressing this outwardly, like openly, but inwardly, this is going on. Inwardly, you're having the conversations, you're doing the manifestation, you're expressing, you're playing, you're doing all of that. But that's all going on inwardly. It still helps with this. It's essential, but you're not showing it. You're being quiet. You're listening. You're basically not saying much, but this is all going on inside. What isn't going to help is we have Raidho reversed. Raidho is the rune of the journey. This is, it's reversed on the lower line. So it's going to spread, like this is basically an overwhelmed moment. It's like everything. And you could be tempted to just like turn inward and like make your journey an inward journey forever and just basically just, nope, I'm not going to be outward anymore. I'm just going to hide outwardly and to heck with it. But you're not doing that. First of all, because that won't solve any of these problems. That won't solve any of these. I mean, you might be able to solve some challenges, like let them happen, like let these challenges solve themselves. But you wouldn't be actively solving them, and you wouldn't be seen as a singer of transfiguration. So, if this starts to be a temptation, bring yourself back up to it's like, no, I still have to do this. I still have to play. I still have to manifest, and we're going to have those inner conversations, and we're going to do that, and that's how we're going to solve this. Nobody's going to see. And then you just flow onward. What the outcome is for this is just continue the flow in this way. It's easy to do. You're protected under this, but this is basically where it is. So it could be better. It's still good, but it's like nobody's seeing this. You are shining through and you're making things happen and you're solving problems, but this is what it is. Very muted. It's very, base level in terms of it's connected to life, it's connected to earth, it is shining, but it's still not like it's like that line in the songs, the world is never as mad as it could be. So let's go over to what you're concealing, and maybe we'll get a little bit of why you're concealing it. But yeah, this is where your strength is. Yeah, because you feel like you have to. It's sort of this agreement to protect it, etc. Yeah, okay, so your central issue for what you're concealing is Uruz, which is the rune of the wild ox. This is strength and health and stubbornness and stick-to-itiveness and solidity and being able to dig in and resist problems. Like, not resist problems, but to like resist what needs to be resisted. Not problems, because you're solving the problems. What led up to this is we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. So there was a decision made. There was a sense of, I'm gonna make this choice to keep this where this is. So, and I'm going to be this, but I'm going to keep it like this. And this is like a one-on-one interaction. So it's you and this. This is the communication. So this is one-on-one interaction, and it's you with this, or you with this aspect of this, whatever this you is, or whatever you are that chooses these. But yeah, there is that connection, but there's also that it's an exchange. So we're going to let this be, but it's going to be concealed by this, and we're going to communicate with this and solve problems this way, because this is incredibly strong. This is where your strength comes from, and your solidity and your health. What's going to help with this is where you're accessing your source energy. The source energy is whatever it is that whenever you access it, always gives you energy, always gives you nourishment. It's your source energy. It's Sovilo, the sun. So always to have that. And that's going to keep this vibrant and keep this exciting and keep this playful and mischievous and all that good stuff. What isn't going to help is we have Avaz, which is the rune of the horse. This is movement and also spirit. It's a very positive rune in a negative, in a negative spot. So this is worries about that thing. You're worried that you're not getting the exercise that you need. You're worried that you're not exercising your spirit the way that you want to, and that's one thing that might drag you down, just this fear about that. But you're safe here, which is why you've been keeping it like this. This extends from this. This is this agreement, and so there's this sense of this might just like want to burn off steam and go crazy and just like gallop around, and that'll exhaust you. As always, especially with the exhaustion aspect, keep access to your source energy, whatever it is that always energizes you, and that will help you. And what this leads you to is, in this way, you feel that this is where you belong, in terms of like not where you belong, but this is where you have your sense of belonging in the world, where you have this, and it's deep inside and it's protected, but this is how you feel that you have to interact with the world, because you're presenting as this is what's underneath. And you feel like, okay, that's my sense of belonging. That's what I'm bringing to the world that nobody else can. But if you reveal that, if you unconceal that, if you unmask, what do we have? Wow. The power. Central issue is Tivaz. Tivaz is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god. This is taking care of duties and responsibilities. This is driving forward. This is very yang, active, driving forward, taking care of things, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. The energy, and this is like the balance as well. We have the divine feminine, divine masculine balance. What led up to this is we have this moment of clarity. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice. So I think there's this moment of clarity between these. They've been communicating back and forth, and it's like, let's integrate. And so we let this be revealed and just let the mask become this. And this moment of clarity where you're like, yes, let's do that. And this is where all of your power and energy, your power and energy come through. These are both very yang. This is Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. This is another name for Frey. Frey's the fertility god. I see this as active creation. So this will be, there's no middleman anymore. There's no middle between this. You're actually just vibrantly grabbing the things, you know what needs to be done, and you work with it actively. What isn't going to help is it's something. It's like I think it's fears about integration. I really think that's what this is, because this is Ivaz. It's the rune of the yew tree. It's patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step, and integrating between worlds. So that may be a worry. Is like, how do I integrate this? Well, when you do, we become like the all, basically. That moment of clarity that you had, where we can basically work together. And so, yeah. So this may be a worry. And also just, you may be worried, it may bother you how many things there are to integrate with this, and how long it may take to do that. But it will be worth it, and this is what you're working on anyway. You're taking things in hand, you're shaping things the way they need to be. And what this will ultimately lead you to is you're going to be able to let go of what isn't serving you. So probably, like the mask, isn't serving you once you've got it all integrated and you're this. And sure, people are going to get freaked out, but the heck with it. You know, this. What did somebody say recently? The sun doesn't care if it blinds you. So please try not to blind people. But be all of who you are that you can at this point. So this is letting go of things that no longer serve you. This is stepping outside of your comfort zone, which was the separation, and this is finding that sense of home within. No matter where you are, you have this. So that's very exciting. So that, those of you who chose the covered rose, is your reading for what is being revealed, what is being concealed, and what happens if you unmask that. So that is very exciting, and I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye! Hello to those of you who chose Buster. So let's move Buster over to the side here. I'm going to need all the room that I have because the 3 cards take up all the room, but let's have Buster over here. So let's get the cards out. So first of all, what are we presenting to the world? What is it that we're presenting to the world to cover and conceal what we are concealing? What is it that we're presenting to hide what we're afraid would freak people out if they saw it? Let's see. We are presenting the fawn. Wow, if that's what you're presenting, what are you concealing? because you're presenting something very wise and ancient, and in resonance with its needs, but in a sparkling way. What are we concealing? Oh, that gnome. So what would happen? So I think this is a situation where, yeah, you're presenting this in its most gorgeous and numinous way, that you're something extra special. I'm not saying that you're presenting yourself as something extra special, but it's like something that doesn't have this aspect. It's like everybody poops. But it's like, if you present yourself in this shining sense of untouchable numinosity, then, and you have this that you're concealing, that's going to be an imbalance to a certain extent, because then it's going to be difficult for you to connect to life and be okay with life and the messy parts. So what happens if you reveal that? Ooh. Well, you're going to have to trust. That's really cool. I'm going to lay this by. I may lay out another card. I may lay out another card, but I think this is probably going to be good. Like, this is basically, right now you're presenting yourself as, I mean, there are lots of reasons to do this, because, you know, there's a lot of people who find themselves in a situation growing up where you can't show the slightest bit of imperfection or, you know, baseness, because that will be perceived as a mistake, and then you may be dealing with people who feel that even the slightest perceived mistake is their permission to unleash every bit of vitriol they have on you, and that's terrible. So you have to just like present yourself as just perfect, when in fact you're a living being. You're connected to life, and you have this aspect that is, you know, undeniable when you look at it. But it's basically, you know, it's where your life is. It's where your health is coming from. It's where your wit and your fun and your playfulness is coming from. So you need both. And so when you reveal this, then it's like all the colors mixing into white kind of thing. It's like, this is suddenly you're complete. So let's get some runes down. This is a very interesting read. Is this the one that wants to come out? Yeah, and it's a constant challenge for you to do this. It's not like, I mean, this is very you. Like, all of this is you. This is not a pretend thing, but it's like you, but you're really, really concealing. This is to conceal the reality of you, the stinky, messy, true nature of life, the human condition, or the gnomic condition. Central issue for the faun is because the faun itself, like in mythology, very more like this than this, because it's like, no, but I'm a good faun. I'm a shining faun, and I have, you know, stars in my head, and that you're just this perfection and this gorgeousness and this not base at all thing. So this is your challenge. You know, we have Thurzaz, which is the rune of the challenge, is the thorn, the giant, the gateway, and it's something that you can do. It's fine. You know, you can do that. You can deny all of this, but this isn't going away. But this is how you've been trying to present yourself, as a good version of, you know, human. Oh, it's perfectly, anybody can do this. You can just be, do this. So we have, leading up to this, we have Laguz, which is the rune of emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. It's the water. So I think a lot of emotion led up to this point. Like, you were probably told you're too much. You were probably told you're being too emotional. You were probably told that you're so sensitive and you're just reactive and whatever. And that probably drove you to the point of, it's like, fine, I'm going to cross this threshold. I'm going to leave all that behind. I am not going to feel emotions anymore. I'm not going to have needs anymore. I'm not going to be, you know, sensitive anymore. I'm just going to be this pure thing. And that's all still here. You're hiding that. Like, that's really there. And it doesn't matter how deep you hide it. This is there waiting for you. And this is where a lot of your health is. This is where a lot of your your energy is, your life, your humor. What helps you with this is that this is an agreement that you made with yourself. This was a very hard agreement. This is an exchange. It's like, nope, I'm going to keep all of this safe because this is like real shadow work stuff. Like, you just basically put this aside. So this is an agreement that you made to do that, to cross the threshold and it's like leave all of this behind. And this is what you're showing to the world. What isn't going to help is that it's every day. It's every day through every weather, through every step, and this emotion is still with you, and it's even a part of this. This is Ivaz, which is the yew tree, so step by step, long, long, long road, and this is all still with you, just underneath the surface some days, and you're holding this all steady by this agreement that you've made with yourself to do this, but my goodness. So ultimately what this is going to lead you to is you end up basically being cut off. You're basically like, you've cut yourself off from yourself. It's like silence with this. Like, you just feel like there's nothing you can express. There's nothing you can manifest. You feel like it just goes on like this, and you feel like just silence and listening, and that you start to vanish. Right, well, let's look at what you're concealing. Yeah. So this is what's supporting you. It's protecting you. You're out there being this pure being, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do that. But this is you too. We have algae, which is the elk. It's the moose. It's protection and support. This part of you is supporting you. This part of you is protecting you. Like emotions. Even if you're a very emotional person, you know that this is stuff that's there to protect you. Like, you're getting upset for a good reason. Like, this is telling you things. Like, if you're angry, this is an unfairness that is being done to you, that is being brought to your attention by your anger. So what led up to this? So here you are, this is what's supporting you, but there was a journey that was ended, and it was this connected to this. That was the whole you that you had before. And this has ended, so this has gone underground, but it's still supporting you. What helps you with that is you're getting the fruits of, like, when you work with this is like right in the dirt working, like making things happen and just all that good stuff. We have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. So it's like focus on the present moment, and also bringing things through. Making things manifest, and this is like not happening here. This is Ansu's reversed. It's manifestation. It's reversed here. This is where you're bringing things through. This is where things are happening. This is where the seeds are growing in the earth, and so this is what's helping to support you. Is this the stuff that is inside of you that is growing and it's manifesting things and it's exciting and it's rich? What isn't helping you is we have Othala, which is the rune of the home and the homeland. This is your comfort zone. You miss that being a part of it, but this is also, now that this is separate, that you've separated this so hard, there is a sense of that if this came through, it would disrupt your home. It would disrupt your comfort zone. So right now we're just bringing it back to, like, no, we're working inwardly, we're creating things. You probably have very vibrant dreams that you're embarrassed to tell anybody. But what this ultimately leads you to is stagnation. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice. This is stillness. It's the stillness through which clarity comes, and hopefully between this, you not being able to manifest things the way you want to, and this being like stagnation, and it's like I'm creating and nothing's coming of it. And this is the clarity that comes through, and this is the clarity that results. We come back together, and then we become this whole beautiful light, this incredible thing, and it's the truth of things and the wildness of things that are informing you and guiding you. So we may lay down another one, because I think one of the things that, actually I don't think I need to do that, because look at that. So yeah, this is the breaking of the day. Once these are reintegrated, once the mask is revealed, like once the mask is dropped and this is revealed and this becomes part of this again, this is like the breaking of the day. This is the sunrise. This is full illumination. This is your entire field of vision lit up. This is the return of light and air and color. Leading up to this, it's just remembering your worth, remembering your value. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It's cattle, it's the wealth that you tend, so as long as you take care of it, it will give your life meaning. Once you integrate this, it's like boom. light, air, color, everything, just suddenly you're this ball of blazing light. What's going to help you is make it happen, integrate it, put it together. You can do this. You're taking things in hand and you're making this gorgeous union happen. We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. This is active creation. So we are coming together. It's a union, but it's also now we can create, now we can manifest, and it's fantastic. We're getting our hands dirty and it's awesome. So what isn't going to help you? We have Uru's reversed. Uru's the throne of the wild ox. This is strength and health and stubbornness. You're worried that this is going to sweep you off your feet, first of all, which hooray if it does. But you're also worried that this is going to make you weaker because you're not able to present this anymore and you're not able to hold this back anymore. But that's not a problem because you're working together now. Both of these are working together. It doesn't make you weaker. It makes you light, like just the blaze of light. And just keep creating, like create, because that's how you're going to keep blazing more. And at the end of all of this, we have Manas reversed. Manas is the rune of humanity and your part in it. Reversed, it's inner. So this is where you are now able to face yourself with joy. This is this facing this with joy. So you don't care what other people think. You're not going to care what other people think about it. Who cares if they tell you like you're too much? It's like whatever. You are now meeting yourself with joy. You now feel that you belong with yourself. And that's something that you haven't felt when you had these separate. So that's exciting. So that is your reading for what are we presenting, what are we concealing, and what happens if you unconceal that, what happens if you unmask. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.